Yeah, new.
Is it working?
Yes.
Okay, look. Here you see, this is a deck of cards, right? Look. And you have the four populations over here. You have the spades, the clubs, the diamonds, and the hearts. What you see here is that it's ordered from 2 all the way to the K. The K is the king. That's how it is everywhere. Now, what you need to understand is that human communities tend to be like this. Human beings tend to long for homogeny amongst each other. I'm not talking about homogeny of how people look like, even though if that's the case, for example, in where everyone looks almost the same, sort of same ethnicity, that's preferred to. People look at homogeny in behavior, in finances, as well as in character. So as you see here, you have the noble cards, that is the jack, the queen, and the king. They're together. Then you have the common cards. Well, in every human society, every human community that's been in history, there's a difference between community and society. Society is this construct of fear that adults use to escape. This is what society is. Community is just people, human beings living together. Now, in every human community in history, there was this tendency to separate the noble people from the common people. Now, what are the noble people? The noble people are those who actually make the important decisions. And they have the financial leverage to enforce decisions on the rest. And the rest of the population, they tend to fight for leverage in life. So that's why the 2s are on the bottom, because they're like the poor folks. The 10s are the ones earning good money at work. And there in between, you have people competing over and over again. People tend to compete with their own, not with other groups. Now, people can compete between groups, but most of the time people compete with their own group. This is how they build identity. Human beings build identity by competing with their own for the scarce resources. At least it's a perception of scarce resources. That's the philosophy. They perceive the scarcity, now they compete with one another for who has the most of scarcity, and the one who has the most has more to say. Alright, so that's clear. That's how human communities operate. But here's the problem with this. Things don't always go as smooth like this. They don't. And also, groups have to interact with other groups too. So, what happens is that the groups end up having to collide with one another. Alright? Mm-hmm. And when they collide, things get a mess. Let me just shuffle the cards very well to show what I mean. Alright. I think I shuffled them enough, but okay. Let me just... I'm not a professional card player, so hold on, just bear with me. You see it over here? It's a complete mess. As you can see, some of the dynamic is retained. For example, you have the jack, the queen, and the king of diamonds over here together. But here you have a king amongst 2 8s. Here you have, this one is still a bit left together. But as you see, even when there's chaos, communities tend to look for their own, and similar people tend to be together. You have 2 8s capturing a king, envy. They want the king status, so it's a joint force to take out the king. But in general, people tend to just stick to what's similar. Now, sometimes this is not possible because things simply get completely out of hand. Okay, let me do another shuffle. Again, I'm not a poker player or anything like that, so my goodness. I tried to do a shuffle I saw online. Oh my goodness. I don't know whether this is working or not, but let me try it one more time. Yep. Alright. Shuffle one more time. Alright. One more shuffle. I'll give the card a cut. Another cut over here. Several cuts. Okay, that should be enough. time. And let's see what we got now. All right. Yeah. My goodness, these cards are very stubborn. Even when I do all of that, look at that. They still stay similar. Wow. This shows how human communities are. Even when there's chaos, even when harmful things are happening, even when their own groups aren't reliable, they still tend to make excuses for their own. To some extent it's handy, but it can also get quite troublesome. Well, let's look at here. You have two sevens together from different groups. They bond together. So people can bond with similar people from other groups. That can happen. But there also has to be rivalry between the groups. So here you have two tens bonding together from different groups. So inter-group bonding happens. But here people of the lower classes tend to be a bit more, as you see over here, the lower classes tend to be more together. So, yeah. So now, when all of this is happening, at some point the public wants to have, what you say, order. So, here's the issue. You have these type of cards that don't match the population whatsoever. They do have the marker of a group, but they have no value within the group. All these cards have either noble or common value. The aces have no actual value. That is because they don't fit the system. This is how believers are. Believers are the aces. We bond all together between groups because we're not part of the system. We want to bond our own groups, but the groups often kick us out. So, but still the believers can still be a part of the group, but often the public tends to turn on them too. But apart from the believers, there's also another group in the community, and here's where it gets dirty. These groups, this group of people are the people that are left out. They're left out of everything, they're neglected on purpose, and nobody really cares what happens to them. You don't want to talk about the jokers. You have the sad joker and the happy joker. The sad joker is a common victim. Someone was sexually molested, or someone couldn't get a job, or someone was falsely accused of rape, or someone was cancelled, whatever. Or people who are just poor, nobody looks after them, so these are the sad jokers. Now, the happy jokers are the people who are not allowed to be vulnerable humans. They are crowned with benefits, both financial and sexual, and that's why they are the celebrities. Two types of victims, both victims, one is decorated, the one is trapped. Now, communities, they tend to want to get out, they want to vomit out these two. But then, it's the believers often pick them up. And sometimes, these two end up becoming believers themselves. Now, this is how it goes. You have the world, society, with its caste system, nobility versus common people. There are conflicts, and from time to time, when things go wrong, they smash down all their frustration on the sad joker. The happy joker is put on top of it to cover up the wrong things goes on. Get me? But then you have the believers coming in and saying, hold on, that's not going to happen. All of you have to learn to walk according to God's plan. And that's why it's important for us believers to walk in power. Got it? So, sometimes we become the joker because we are the victims of the community as believers. Whether you are the celebrity victim, like in church, they praise you, or you're the obvious sad victim, you want to get rid of you. Remember, your value is not in harmony with the system. You come from the Heavenly Father. So, you serve the common public in harmony with Christ. Just realize not everyone wants to be saved. That's it. Can agree with Christ, be at peace, and please, don't play the game society. It will not benefit you. Serve Christ.